every Sunday at 6 p.m. Zishan on air.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. This is Zishan Isaac with Zishan on air every Sunday from 6 p.m. and onwards on the traditional media as well as on social media with hundreds and thousands of our following audience. I really appreciate it. First of all, I would like to thank our key advertisers. Because of them, we are able to provide you with the latest information and the news that no one wants to cover, the analysis no one wants to cover and talk about, and then how it impacts our lives and how can be better in our local communities and how we can help our neighbors and others. Because that's the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, it's all about us and we are all in this together. So first of all, Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com. That's their web address, AITinsurance.com. All kinds of auto insurance, commercial insurance, homeowners insurance, and even health insurance, business insurance, commercial insurance, and they specialize in auto insurance as well. AITinsurance.com. They've been in community for decades, and they are also in various locations, even in Texas and other cities. And their number is 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000. Mention my name, and AITinsurance.com is for everyone from anywhere. You can just log on to the World Wide Web, AITinsurance.com, and just look them up and call them. Roopsari.com, you can order online. They have new arrivals for men's wear. They have a lot of traditional men's shalwar kameez. A lot of people from South Asia, they wear these very stylish traditional dresses. So men's wear, they got it. Men's shalwar kameez, kurta pajama, a lot of varieties, and then sherwanis, hundreds of designs. You can visit them, roopsari.com, and then new arrivals. And then for ladies, for women, they got a lot of collection and selection. Demasi is one of my favorite restaurants when it comes to Mediterranean cuisine. At Demasi's restaurant, they got all kinds of kebabs, lamb shank, and all kinds of salads from tabbouleh to Greek salad to fattoush and all these different kinds of salads. I mean, there are so many different kinds of salads in Mediterranean cuisine, and then obviously kebabs and chicken kebabs and lamb shank and even many other items. And it's all buffet style, all you can eat. They have many locations. They have now even opened a location actually in another location in Texas, and I can share that information, but you can also look them up online, because that's the easiest way to basically find out about the latest locations. And for that, you just have to go to demasis.com. And when you go to demasis.com, you can certainly check them out in the locations section, and you will see how you can find all kinds of addresses for their locations, because they are even in California, in Dallas, in Austin, and now they have opened a location in Mesquite, Texas. That's at 3700 Town Crossing Boulevard, Mesquite, Texas 75150, and that's coming soon. So that's the beauty of demasis.com. And then locations, you can just visit the locations on demasis.com. So that's all you can eat buffet. Now, thank you to all the great advertisers. Let's dive into a crazy Sunday. The retaliation by the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro. He refused two military flights from the United States of America. They were taking all these migrant workers, and some of them were obviously had some questionable backgrounds, and they were deported from the United States of America. And those flights were refused. And the moment those flights were refused, President Trump went on Truth Social, and he basically said, tweeted, as you could say, for lack of a better term, although it's a different platform, that he will impose immediately 25% tariff, emergency tariff. And not only that, he said that after 1 week, it will jump to 50% tariffs. And guess what? This is the foreign policy of the United States of America under Trump 2.0, very assertive, very aggressive. And after that announcement, with that announcement, he also said that he will impose visa restrictions on the family members of the government of Colombia and all the government officials tied to the Colombia government. And those of you who know Colombians, they will always say that it's not Colombia, it's Colombia. Anyway, so this is basically what happened. And then after hours of negotiations back and forth and retaliation, and Gustavo Petro, he also went on X platform, said, I'm going to also impose tariffs. But at the end of the day, because of the economic strength of the United States of America, they had to buckle down. and they had to give in. And that basically is now, I'm reporting, and it has been reported on BBC as well, that Colombian president will fly a presidential plane from Colombia to pick up all these migrants and these deportees. So this is Trump 2.0. So don't underestimate Trump this time around. On the screens, those who are watching me live, you can see there are 10 very interesting executive orders, because this is the first week of Trump that has basically just finished, right? Or Monday, it will be one full week because he just took oath last Monday. So this is where I would like to tell you that what are these 10 executive orders, because these are the most interesting ones, and the executive orders in the sense of how the point number 10 is really, really interesting with regards to the Palestinian cause, because point number 10 is actually talking about the aspect of all these Israeli settlers who abuse Palestinians, and they were under restrictions by the Biden administration. What President Trump has done, he actually said that, well, those restrictions have been removed. So this is from Times of India, and this basically is about West Bank settler sanctions revoked. Reversed this Biden era sanctions on Israeli settlers accused of abuses against Palestinians. And there were so many other actually executive orders. TikTok deadline extended for 75 more days. Exit from WHO. You may ask who? That's World Health Organization. There's a second attempt in 5 years. End of DEI. That's a big one, where roll back federal diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and transgender protections, citing opposition to, quote, social engineering, unquote. Challenge to birthright citizenship has went to the courts. It has been in one of the Circuit Court of Appeals in Seattle, where the judge basically has said, no, you cannot do this. So that may go to perhaps all the way to Supreme Court. That basically said that executive order that barred citizenship for children born in U.S. to undocumented immigrants or temporary visa holders. Federal death penalty. An executive order directed the Attorney General to secure lethal injection drugs for executions. Halt on wind expansions. Trump paused permits and lease sales for offshore and onshore wind projects, and established DOGE or however you want to say it, created a new department headed by Elon Musk to modernize federal technology and enhance efficiency. Paris Climate Accord exit, so withdrew U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord, reinforcing his rejection of global climate initiatives. And number 9, pardons for January 6 rioters. The president signed pardons for 1,500 of his supporters who were part of the January 6, 2021 insurrection that attacked. And number 10 was the West Bank settler sanctions removed. Reversed Biden era sanctions on Israeli settlers accused of abuses against Palestinians. So that is definitely something that the Michigan brothers, or I would say Muslims, who basically were, again, their main reason to support President Trump was Palestine. And then he also just released 2,000 tons of bombs that, in fact, were put on hold by the Biden administration, and now those have been released under Trump as well. So you got to go and ask those imams, I would say, who injected themselves into the politics, and that's why I never mix religion and politics. This is where I'm sharing this news, obviously, on the on the screen, where you can see Trump. Basically, the Trump White House instructed the Pentagon to release the hold imposed by the Biden administration on the supply of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel, 3 Israeli officials told Axios. The official said that 1,800 Mk-84 bombs, which were held in storage in the U.S., will be put on a ship and delivered to Israel in the coming days. U.S. President Donald Trump cancels a decision issued by the former President Biden to ban the sale of missiles and heavy bombs to the occupation, according to the Eye on Palestine. So this is another one. Then he has also issued an executive order with regards to the secret documents that should be made public in terms of the assassination of JFK and the Bobby Kennedy, and as well as MLK. And the grandson of JFK, Josh Scholesberg, he actually basically said that declassification is using PR as a potential prompt when he's not here to push, to punch back. There's nothing heroic about it. That's the grandson of JFK. So imagine, this is what he said, Josh Scholesberg, and he is the grandson of JFK, so he has all the right on behalf of the JFK family, and that's basically what he tweeted. And then you can see the entire, statement on X platform, and he said that the truth is a lot sadder than the myth, a tragedy that didn't need to happen, not part of an inevitable grand scheme. And then he said declassification is using JFK as a political prop. So this is Trump 2.0. And then you can see the deportation flights from US as Donald Trump orders first wave of brutal mass exodus. And on Wednesday, they would be providing 2 C-17s and 2 C-130E planes to help with what are known as migrant repatriation flights. And then the Tucson airport, the Tucson International Airport in Arizona, the image released by the Department of Defense it actually shows illegal aliens awaiting takeoff for a removal flight at the Tucson, which is close to Phoenix, Arizona, and you can see this image. And then the ICE agents actually have raided this Ocean Seafood restaurant, and you can see on the picture in New York, New Jersey, where they are saying it's not a raid, but actually the statement that was issued, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement issued this statement that it's a targeted enforcement operations, and agents, quote, may encounter U.S. citizens while conducting field work and may request identification, unquote. So there was reported by NBC, a U.S. Army veteran, if I'm not mistaken, but he is definitely a veteran, and he was also detained because obviously no one is just roaming around. And if you are living in a home, are you going to carry your keys of every bedroom to another bedroom? And think of a key to remain in your own home is like a passport or birth certificate. So this person was detained as well, and he has served in the armed forces. So this is sending a lot of paranoia to the communities, because long held policy of the government has been to not even get toward the premises of worshiping places or schools, because according to the law, every child has a right to be educated in the United States of America. That's the law. But now the administration has actually said that, the criminals, they cannot believe that they can hide in schools and churches. But then again, these are children. So again, those of you who have voted for Trump, you have to answer it. I mean, how are you feeling? Because obviously this is America, where public opinion matters. Trump's first deportation flights with average of just 80 migrants cost up to $852,000 per trip. That's reported by Mirror and other publications. The Canadian, our neighbors up north, the Ontario premier, he's like a governor, but they call it a premier, hit him back twice as hard. That's what he said. Canada's number one populist has a risky Trump strategy, and this fellow is Doug Ford, and he is also saying that I am a street fighter to politics. So if someone throws a punch at me, I'm going to hit him back twice as hard, unquote. So even there's something called NICE, and then there's something called Canadian NICE, or especially those who live in Vancouver, and those of you who are from Canada or Canadians know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what happens when you take a very assertive and aggressive foreign policy stance. Then the others may also reciprocating your gesture or your statement. So this is Canada. This is not Colombia, and this is not Mexico. So 2 or 3 people have been I would say confirmed. Pete Hegseth has been confirmed, and then Marco Rubio has been confirmed, and then also the Noem. She is the I would say one of the other cabinet position, and you can see on the screen. So these cabinet members, which have been confirmed, and Pete Hegseth confirmation was a big one because even two Republicans senators, they did not vote, and then they vote against Pete Hegseth's confirmation, and the tiebreaker came in with the vote of VP JD Vance. So that's an interesting one as well, because JD Vance had to vote in, and that was a tie-breaking vote. And I'll take some calls right after a few minutes. Let me just wrap it up. And then Hegseth, as you can see, with his family giving a thumbs up. This is marked only the second time in history when vice president was needed to break a tie for a cabinet level nominee. In 2017, it was then Vice President Mike Pence broke a 50-50 tie to confirm Betsy DeVos. She was also very controversial as the education secretary in Trump's first term. So this is Trump 2.0. And then Friday vote came one day after Hegseth's nomination narrowly cleared a key procedural hurdle, 51-49, with Collins and Murkowski voting with all Democrats to block him. And this is where, speaking to reporters Friday, Collins, a Republican senator, said she had informed Senate Majority Leader John Thune from South Dakota of her opposition to Hegseth and had not personally heard from Trump. She said she stood by her decision. And she said, quote, "I made the right vote," unquote, Collins said. And then Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker from Mississippi expressed confidence Hegseth would be confirmed on Thursday, and he got confirmed. And he also said, quote, "If I were JD Vance, I would stick around," unquote, Wicker said. And obviously, JD Vance had to vote. Otherwise, it was a 50-50 tie. Eric Adams, the New York City mayor, a lot of Democrats are not happy about him. His relationship with President Trump is alarming Democrats who question the embattled mayor's motives amid his ongoing legal challenges. Adams sat down with Trump for a meeting days before the president was sworn in and caught attention for a last-minute cancellation of his schedule to attend Trump's inauguration on Monday. Remember, there were few people, notable Democrats like Michelle Obama, former First Lady, did not attend. Congressman Al Green, I've been told he did not attend, and I met his representative here in Houston or Missouri City. So it's interesting in terms of politics. President Donald Trump, long a vocal detractor of California, touched down in Los Angeles on Friday to tour fire-ravaged areas, pledging federal support after days of criticizing Democrats over the fire. So finally, he went there as a president, and this is where a lot of Californians, they are even asking this question, and there is actually this report that basically was issued that could California succeed from the United States? The short answer is no. There's no legal way for California to succeed from the United States. Section 1 of Article 3 of the current state constitution states that California code is an inseparable part of the United States of America, unquote. And then in addition, U.S. Constitution doesn't provide any legal method for a state to succeed. That's why the Civil War was fought, killing as many as 620,000 Americans. And California's state constitution very clearly says that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, meaning if the Constitution says it can't be done, which it does, then succession is impossible. But that being said, has California ever tried to succeed? Yes, just because it's impossible, that doesn't mean they can. So actually, California was very briefly, an independent nation. And that's basically for 25 days in 1846, at a time that was when known as Alta California was part of Mexico. The unrecognized Mexican breakaway state, was based in a small area north of San Francisco in what's now one of the nation's prime winemaking regions, Sonoma County. So that was back in 1846. The effort was quickly overturned, and in 1850, California became the 31st state of the United States. That said, the official state flag, first adopted in 1911, still says California Republic. Yes, it's a republic, remember that, under an image of a grizzly bear, a reference to the rebellion, which was called, quote, the Bear Flag Revolt, unquote. So California was obviously a state and is still a state, and it is considered as, the gold, known as the gold rush and Hollywood and Disneyland, Summer of Love, what have you. But, the impact is going to be big, because what would happen if California left the United States? It will be chaos. And then not only that, just remember in 2022, California paid more than it received from the federal government. Yes, remember, if anyone talks bad about California, that's, I would say, very un-American, because according to analysis of the Rockefeller Institute of Government, that year the state contributed $83 billion more in taxes than it got from the federal government. So $83 billion is a lot of money. And when it comes to President Trump, he's all about money. So $83 billion, right? So there's one Californian, she actually was talking to the media, and she actually basically said that she has heard Gavin Newsom saying that he wants to Trump-proof, California. So it's imaginable, but that settles like a crazy idea for California to be its own country, right? So do people appreciate what the state does for the country? And she said, quote, "I don't think so," unquote. Jones replied. "I hear a lot of people talk crap about California," unquote, and especially with these devastating fires. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all those who have lost their loved ones and those who lost their homes, but homes and business can be rebuilt. But it's a big effort that needs to be done. And I think we should all support our Californians, and especially those who have been impacted by this devastating fire. So with that, I am going to sign off from the social media, continue with the traditional media. Those of you who want to take part in our traditional media will take calls on the air and we'll discuss it, and you can talk in Urdu and Hindi as well, and also in English. So with that, I'm signing off, and then spread the word, share this news. No one is covering this, no one is talking about this, but at the end of the day, we've got to make sure that there will be some kind of decisions that would be good for the country. Some would be very controversial, and some would be just outright, I would say, bad. So that's where we as citizens got to be active in our own country, because this is our homeland, this is our country. So we got to make sure that we support each other, and even when we disagree, we still got to make sure that let the best idea win, because a lot of different ideas to help people. And let's not just go with this idea of billionaires, government by the billionaires, for the billionaires, and of the billionaires, right? That's what it feels like, because there are 5 big billionaires, and then $270 million that Mr. Elon Musk has spent, and well worth in terms of at the receiving end. What is the return on investment? Check it out, billions and billions of dollars, right? So this is where oligarchy and all that Senator Bernie Sanders is also talking about, and he is going to be looking into bringing some experts and discuss oligarchy, how oligarchy is happening in the United States. And according to him, Senator Bernie Sanders said that U.S. is the capital of the oligarchy, and I'm quoting Senator Bernie Sanders. With that, I'm signing off, and please subscribe, share, and continue to stay with the Zishan on air. With that, signing off.